Act extending the acquisition and distribution of all agricultural lands, or Republic Act number 9700, or CARPER Law. Comprehensive Agrarian Program Extension with Reform, also known as CALPER, is a Philippine law that strengthened and extended the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, or yung CARP. It was signed into law by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo on August 7, 2009. It aimed to complete the acquisition and distribution of all agricultural lands to qualified farmer beneficiaries, instituting various reforms such as social justice and rural development programs. So the next one is the salient features of Republic Act number 9700. Number 1, extension of land acquisition and distribution. Second, expanded land coverage. So clarified that CARP applies to all private and public agricultural lands regardless of the crops planted, with the exception of land holdings of 5 hectares. The third one is prioritization of beneficiaries. So this give priority sa pag-distribute ng mga lands sa mga farmers and farm workers. Number 4, support services and fundings. And number 5, support for rural women. And lastly, protection of irrigated land. So let's now define what is farmer and rural women. So when we say farmer, it is simply defined as a natural person whose primary livelihood is cultivating land or producing crops, livestock, or fisheries, whether they own the land or are a tenant. Next is rural women. So these are women who are directly or indirectly involved in farming or fishing as their source of livelihood. So this include women who are paid or unpaid, regular or seasonal workers, as well as those engaged in food preparation, managing the household, and caring for children. The scope of Republic Act number 9700, or CALPER, aims to promote social justice and rural development by acquiring and distributing agricultural lands, pursuing equitable distribution and ownership, and promoting industrialization and full employment, with support services and funding allocated for implementation. So let's come now to the retention limits, or yung amendments of Republic Act number 6657. Number 1, the government acquisition for public use. So provincial, city, and municipal governments can acquire private agricultural lands via expropriation for direct public purposes like roads, bridges, public markets, schools, etc. So second, this retention limit exemption. So this land aren't subject to the 5-hectare retention limit if used for approved public purposes consistent with the local land use plan. Third one, CARP lands. Under CARP will follow the program's land acquisition and distribution process. So it's a land reform policy in the Philippines aimed at redistributing agricultural lands ownership to farmers. So if the acquired land falls under CARP, the government will follow the program's procedures for acquiring and distributing the land to qualified beneficiaries. Typically, yun na yung farmers and yung mga farm workers. Last one is compensation for expropriated lands. Agrarian reform beneficiaries of expropriated lands will receive just compensation. So when we say expropriation, it means that the government takes private property for public use, providing fair payment to the owner. When the government expropriate lands for public purposes, agrarian reform beneficiaries like yung farmers who were tilling the land will receive just compensation. Of course, this ensures that those who lose land or livelihood due to government action are fairly compensated. Determination of just compensation, amendments on Republic Act number 6657. So here are the key factors for determining just compensation. Number 1, cost of acquisition of the land. Number 2, value of standing crops. Number 3, current value of like properties. Number 4, nature, actual use, and income of the land. Number 5, sworn valuation by the owner. Number 6, tax declaration. Number 7, assessment by government assessors. Number 8, 70% of zonal valuation by the Bureau of Internal Revenue or yung BIR, translated by DER into a basic formula. Number 9, social and economic benefits contributed by farmers, farm workers, and the government. And lastly, non-payment of taxes or loans from government financing institutions. Award ceiling for beneficiaries. Maximum award, beneficiaries shall be awarded an area not exceeding 3 hectares. Land configuration, definition of landless. So for the purpose of this act, a landless beneficiary is defined as one who owns less than 3 hectares of agricultural land. The size and location of the land distributed must be determined based on factors critical to the success of the beneficiaries, including crop type and soil type, weather patterns, and other pertinent variables. So the land is generally awarded in the form of an individual title. The DAR shall encourage beneficiaries to form or join farmers' cooperatives for affiliation purposes. The DAR also facilitates the formation of collective organizations, including joining existing cooperative banks, forming blocks of agrarian reform, beneficiaries, cooperation, and partnerships. And of course, lastly, joining irrigators association.
Support Services. The support services under the Amendments on Republic Act 6657, also known as the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law, are meant to make sure that the farmers who receive land through the Agrarian Reform Program also get the help they need to use it productively. Land surveys and titling. This ensure that farmers officially own the land given to them with proper boundaries and legal titles. Socialized credit facility. Farmers can access loans and credit with easier or lower payment terms so they can buy seeds, fertilizer, and tools for farming. Extension services. Those involving helping farmers learn better planting and harvesting methods, new technologies, and business management skill. It also includes assistance in marketing their crops and farming cooperatives. Infrastructure support. The government provides physical structure like roads, mini dams, storage facilities, and utilizes to make sure farming and production distribution easier. Research and organic farming. There is also support for developing and using organic fertilizer and local farming materials to promote sustainable agriculture. Education and organization. The Department of Agrarian Reform (DAR) helps farmers understand their rights and responsibilities from organization and work together to improve productivity and income. This aims to empower them becoming self-reliant and active in managing their own farms. Representation in PERC. Agrarian reforms beneficiary can have representative in the council, ensuring that their voice and concern are heard in decision making. Equal support to rural women. Under the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law, rural women must receive the same support and opportunities as men. This includes access to land, credits, training, technology, and participation in organization. The law ensures that women are not left behind in farming and land ownership. Number 1, investment information, financial and counseling assistance, particularly investment information on government-owned and/or controlled corporation and disposable asset of the government is pursuit of national industrialization and economic independence. Number 2, facilities program and scheme for the conversion or exchange of bonds issued for payment of the land acquired with stock and bonds issued by the national government, the VSP and other government institutions and instrumentalities. Number 3, marketing of agrarian bonds form as well as promoting the marketability of said bonds in traditional and non-traditional financial markets and stock exchange. Number 4, other services designed to utilize productively the process of the sale of such land for rural industrialization. DR quasi-judicial power. The DR is authorized to adjudicate agrarian case over all matters failing under the scope of the DNR. It shall not proceed to cases in an expeditious manner to occurrence with the case in court and shall adopt an expensive manner to determine the case. It shall have testimony, required documents, and other evidences related in the case. Conversion of lands. This part of the law explains when and how agricultural lands can be converted into non-agricultural uses like residential, commercial, or industrial purposes. It sets clear rules and conditions so that land conversion is done properly and fairly, and so that lands important for farming are protected. A piece of agricultural land can only be converted after 5 years from the time it was awarded to the beneficiary. Conversion is allowed only when the land is no longer suitable for farming, or if the area has been urbanized and the land will have a greater economic value for other uses like housing, businesses, or industry. So basically, the land was no longer the economical sound for farming, or the surrounding area has developed into a city or commercial zone, making conversion reasonable. The Department of Agrarian Reform (DER) handles the process. It is the one that approves or denies application for conversion. Provision. Number one is investment requirement. The one applying for conversion is a beneficiary. They must invest at least 10% of the money they earn from converting their land into government securities. This ensures that the farmer uses part of their profit productively and responsibly. Number two, full payment of the land. Before conversion, the applicant must fully pay for the land. This prevents people from converting lands that they haven't completely paid for yet. Number three, protection of integrated lands. Irrigated and irrigatable lands cannot be converted. Those lands are protected because they are vital for food production and the livelihood for farmers. The National Irrigation Administration (NIA) is required to submit data on all irrigatable lands across the country within 1 year after the law takes effect. Prohibited acts and omission. This law meant to protect the fairness and integrity of the program so that both farmers and landowners follow the law properly. Prohibited acts. Owning too much land. No person is allowed to own or possess agricultural land beyond the legal limits set by the law. This prevents landowners from avoiding land distribution by secretly owning extra land. Illegal occupation or taking of land. People who are not qualified beneficiaries cannot forcibly take or occupy land that is supposed to go to the real farmer's beneficiary. Only those who are officially recognized under the law can receive the land. Illegal conversion of agricultural land. Landowners cannot convert their farmland into commercial or residential land just to skip the Agrarian Reform Program and avoid giving land to their tenant farmers. Stop or blocking CRP implementation. It is against the law to deliberately stop, delay, or interfere with the implementation of the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program. Authorize sale or transfer of land. Lands that have been classified or converted under the law cannot be sold, transferred, or changed in using without proper approval from the government. Selling land rights by beneficiary. Beneficiaries who receive land from CRP cannot sell or transfer their rights to others. The law ensures that land stay with those who will cultivate and use it productively, not to profit or speculation. Government officers acting unjustly. It is also a violation if government officials deny due to notice or reply to landowners or deprive them of their retention rights. This means officials must act fairly and honest when implementing the law. What is penalties? Anyone who violates this rule will face serious legal consequences. The law provides specific penalties to ensure that everyone complies. General penalty: imprisonment for up to 3 years for any violation of the act. For individuals or corporations, a fine of 50,000 pesos or more for those found responsible. For major obstruction or interference, a heavier fine of 1 million pesos for anyone who deliberately blocks the implementation of agrarian reform. For government officials, if the offender is a public official, he or she will criminally prosecuted, meaning they will face both jail time and loss of possession. Prohibited act. Undue delay is referring claim holders. This means taking too long to prepare important documents needed for land transfer or compensation. Delay slows down the entire reform process and cause hardship to farmers waiting to receive their land or payment. Delay or failure to pay just compensation. Landowners must be paid fairly and promptly when their land is acquired under the CRP. If government agency delay or refuse payment without valid reason, it is considered a violation. Failure to submit required reports and documents. The Departments of Agrarian Reform (DR), Land Bank of the Philippines (LBP), Presidential Agrarian Reform Council (PARC), and other agencies are required to provide official reports and data about the progress of land reform. If they fail or delay in submitting those, it hinders the transparency and accountability. The penalties: if a government official or employee is convicted under this act, it does not stop other cases from being filed against them, such as civil cases or administrative cases under civil service rules. This means they can still lose their job or face suspension in addition to criminal charge. Anyone convicted under this act will lose the right to receive any benefits from agrarian reform program. For example, they cannot become beneficiaries or gain under the CRP in the future. If the applicant fails to carry out the approved conversion plan within 5 years or violates any of the conditions, the land will automatically be placed back under the CRP, meaning it will once again be considered for agrarian reform distribution.
Quasi-judicial power of DR. RA 6657 and its 2009 extension, RA 9700, give the Department of Agrarian Reform a special court-like authority through its Adjudication Board, DRAB. Ang judicial power is the power of a court of law, hindi power na nasa Congress. It is power of the court of law like mga Supreme Court, CE, Court of Appeals, RTC, at NTC. It is the power of court or law of justice. Ang ginagawa nila ay to settle the actual controversies involving right which are legally demandable and enforceable. Na kung may kaguluhan, may violation sa batas, may issue kung guilty ba or not guilty, issue kung sino ba ang tunay na may-ari sa isang lupa, isang bagay, issue about legal ba yung kanilang kasal, it is to settle actual controversies. This means DR can summon witness, accept evidence, determine land values, cancel or issue land titles, and even punish contempt with fines and jail. Yet, its decision can still be applied to the regular court. Its power is quasi because it is lodged in the executive branch, not the judiciary. But once a DR decision becomes final, it has the same force as regional trial court ruling. Sa madaling salita, sadyang tinoon ng Kongreso ang mga agrarian dispute sa DR upang mapabilis ang redistribution at maiwasan ang forum shopping. But the Supreme Court has repeatedly reminded DR that it is cannot issue rights of certiorari, keeping the constitutional balance intact. Penalties, Amendments, and Republic Act 6657. Penalties under Republic Act 6657 stipulate that anyone knowingly violating the Act will face imprisonment from 1 month to 2 years, a fine of 1,000 to 15,000 pesos or both as determined by the court. Landowners who hide or falsify document face 10,000 pesos fines plus 6 months in jail, while beneficiary who sell, mortgage, or abandon their awarded land within 10 years automatically forfeit the title and are blacklisted from the future awards. DR officer who conspired in wrongful identification or premature compensation can be dismissed administratively and charged criminal under the Anti-Graft Act. Ang mga parusang ito ay sinadya upang protektahan ang pamumunuhan ng Estado at panatilihin ang lupa sa mga magsasaka. Ngunit ang pagpapatupad ay nakasalalay sa mahigpit na koordinasyon sa pagitan ng DR, LBP at mga lokal na taga-usig. Challenges and loopholes of the CR Fair Law. Despite CR Fair good intention, big landowners still exploit retention limits, agritourism exemption, and the collective CLOA strategy to keep control. Meanwhile, budget cut shrink DR failed staff, and the lack of parcel-specific surveys leave 60% of titles in other CLOA form that no single farmer can collectorize. Maraming malalaking may-ari ng lupain ang ini-exploit ito upang mapanatili ang kanilang kontrol sa lupa, kaya bumababa ang budget ng DR at ang kanilang survey, kaya maraming titulo ang nasa CLOA na hindi magagamit ng mga magsasaka. Payment by beneficiaries. What is beneficiary? Beneficiary is defined as anyone who can be named in an insurance policy na pwedeng mag-claim ng insurance procedure kapag namatay si insured. The beneficiary is the answer to the question. Farmers do not get the land for free. The law computes the price from the property market value plus interest, then amortizes it over 30 years using a formula tied to an annual gross production. After a 2 years grace period, the beneficiary must be LBP even if typhoon wipe out the crop. Critics argue this deep burden trap farmers in a new cycle of indebtedness, washing away to pawn or secretly sell their CLOAs to traders, thereby defeating the very purpose of redistribution. Transferability of awarded lands. A crucial aspect of agrarian reform is the restriction on the transferability of awarded lands, designed to prevent beneficiaries from immediately selling their plots and undoing the redistribution effort. Generally, awarded lands cannot be sold, transferred, or conveyed to third parties for a prescribed period, typically 10 years from the date of award. May restriction sa pag-transfer ng lupa dahil ito ay para maiwasan ang pagbebenta nito agad-agad, but there are specific exceptions such as transfer to hereditary succession, to legal heirs, or sell to the government or the Land Bank of the Philippines.